Evening, Raven. Welcome, welcome. How's your evening going so far, speaking of? That's everything I need to do. Nice to see you too, Raven. Go. Fairly late for a stream, but nice, Darwin. How's this evening treating you? It's been a pretty bad day overall, I think. I thought I got to bed early last night, 2300-ish, and then I woke up at 1:30 and couldn't get to bed until 6, and then I slept for 12 hours. So, it's been a day in the sense that the day has existed. I have barely existed in the day. Sorry to hear about that. Must have really needed the rest. I mean, I don't think so, but I'm sure my body does. Which is two entirely different standards. Alright, have those all nice and set up. My books. There they are. Oh wow. It's gotten to the point that I have enough of enough stories that I've read that I actually have to scroll through the documents now. Feels really weird. I started out with just a few of these. Just enough to do the recordings, and now it's 20, maybe more. We keep getting more every single time. Benini! Hello, hello! Welcome, welcome! That should be nice. Plenty more books. The good thing about the Elder Scrolls is that there's just so many books that I could just go on and on and on. Oh, speaking of which, let me get the 3 minutes of ads out of the way real quick so the pre-rolls turn off. How's your evening going, by the way, Panini? There we go. That's good. This is perfect. I might actually fall asleep tonight. On stream. Wait, are you still streaming? No, you're not streaming. Okay. Saw you stream. You were streaming. Like, wait. Are you listening to me and streaming at the same time? Because that would be a lot of multitasking to do. Starwind, yeah, my collection has been growing as well. Oh. Oh. Good old ads. Good old ads. Oh yeah, I think, was it after last stream? I got coffee and Patreon figured out. Figured out a way to get everybody, um, everybody that has a monthly membership access to the audio files. But you know, it's okay. I'll get some funds to get subscriptions before too long, hopefully. Yeah. Starwin, been in the mood for more comedy reading. Picked up Assistant to the Villain. Assistant to the Villain? It's not one I've heard of before. Oh, welcome back, Benini. If you have a bunch of streamers that you like to watch, you can always get the... Oh, what's it called? Effectively a subscription to Twitch itself, which is like 20 bucks. But you get no ads anywhere, and the money does come to us as well. So every time there's ads, I think yeah. Like if emotes, if you don't have particular emotes that you're super fond of, if you're okay with your own, for instance, then it can just be a much better deal. For me, I just have one person I use my Prime on and one person I use my normal sub on. And just go with those two. Yeah, that might be the way to go. Yeah. And as you grow your own, the number of your own emotes will grow too, right? So have a little bit more freedom there. You know, for me, my emote count hasn't grown in a little while. I think that's the goal that I have is sub points. Because when we hit 30 sub points, I think we get one more standard emote slot and one more animated emote slot. Oh, you just unlocked two more emote slots? Congratulations. Do you have an emote backlog to slot into them? My voice feels a little weird today, but we'll get through it, I suppose. Pretty happy with it? And you do have some extra slot? Oh, you have some extra emotes. Good, good, good. Yeah. I think this channel tends to rack up subs fairly slowly. Whereas it seems like you're having a fairly good, it's not luck. It's a fairly good time of it. There we go. A little tea for the throat. And not... This is actually tea with some honey instead of honey with a little bit of tea. I went a little overboard on the honey one day. And I'm glad it wasn't a streaming day because, whew, it's hard on the throat, honestly. And it's still hit and miss, but I think it's because people don't realize I'm on. But you gotta get a Discord so people realize when I go live. Yeah, it's different people use different ways. Discord is definitely a primary way. Social media is so-so. I still use it just to, because I don't get people from Blue Sky, but I do get people from Mastodon and Fetty. I mean, makes sense. That's where my main presence is. But I think mostly Discord is the way to do it. Oh, and you have a Oblivion Day tomorrow, don't you? Panini, you forgot to post on Blue Sky? Yeah, that would be why. Honestly, aside from the people that I get from Fetty, like I said, I don't really get them from Blue Sky, but having shorts, having slightly longer videos, those actually do tend to get follows. Like, I'll get these follows when I'm just not streaming at all. Freddy, what's that? Oh, Fediverse slash Mastodon slash Misky slash Sharky slash a bunch of other things that all just talk to each other. Social media, open source. Basically, the draw of it is that it's not centralized. So even Blue Sky, despite its claims to the contrary, is centralized in most meaningful ways. Whereas Fetty is one instance can go down, one server can go down, and the whole rest of the network will miss that one server, but everybody else doesn't really get affected, right? And it's open source. It's just, for the most part, run by people. And so you don't get ads. There's no rage-baiting shady algorithm. So yeah, that's... Am I out of the loop? Notice the children who are weird? Yeah. It's... I think the most well-known software in Fetty is Mastodon. But there are others. Mastodon is by no means the best. I think it just has the most publicity. I mean, it's not a bad starting software, but either way. Where's I going to go with that? I'm gonna need to walk you through some social media things sometime. I quit Twitter and kind of quit everything but Twitch. Yeah, no worries. I can definitely do that. Can you DM me so I know where to send messages? 'Cause I don't remember which one was the one that would get to you. Ugh. Oh, I might make an account there then. I'm hitting the point where I get a lot of views if people know I'm on, but if no one gets an alert because they aren't looking on Twitch, then it's a dead stream. Yeah, I can feel that. I think you're right. It's time to diversify. Yeah. That means using a social media, Octavia? No. Yeah, I mean, just message me on Discord. And Discord's centralized, so like that aspect of it I don't like. But it's unfortunately what satisfies the needs that I currently have. So that's, yeah, I begrudgingly use it. Moth, you die. Oh no. Not the social media, no. Flop. To be fair, I get it. Benini, yeah. Centralized, yeah. Yep. Centralized control in some way or another. With Blue Sky, some people have their own data on different servers, but they still talk through the same, what's called a relay. There's a bunch of other different parts of the infrastructure as well that can go down. But for the most part, especially right now, people can make their own relays, but to actually make a relay that works like the current relay, it would take literal millions of dollars. So yeah, it's we'll see where Blue Sky goes. Unfortunately, there's been really alarming red flags. It feels like they're speed running Twitter, which is novel but also alarming and disheartening. But Fetty exists. I would recommend VT.social, but you're probably going to be half 2D, half 3D, so I don't know if they'd accept. But there's plenty of other instances. I'll send you a link sometime and recommend you an instance, and go from there. Dark Raven. My mom received a sunflower. I'll try to keep it healthy and alive. Wait, like a planted sunflower? Those can get really tall, and they're really nice. Mouth, I think Raven means like the whole flower, roots and all. That'd be my guess anyway, because he does like to nurture plant life. So, plant. If you Moth, if you take a peek into the wait, Moth, are you in my Discord server? There you go. If you aren't, there's a looky what I made channel. Ew, social media. Yeah, Discord is at least, especially at our size, right? It's still a fairly tight-knit community. It's not like it's a huge public server or anything, so yeah. I'm just not a big poster on social media, but I think that's starting to hold me back. It's become a bottleneck for my stream, so I think my time would be more productive doing 4 hours on stream and then doing another 4 making posts or other social media things. Yeah, and like, I wouldn't recommend spending hours just, posting and replying to people and stuff. Just, if you have people stay in contact with them. And then spend the rest of the time, like you said, making, little videos for TikTok or YouTube, YouTube Shorts. And granted, for some people that works. For me, it's not so much. Like my gaming stuff, there's a couple things here and there, but overall, it's harder for me to get material for short form content, for short form videos. I swear I talk for a living. I like your Discord rules. That's good to hear. It's a little not convoluted. It's a little wordy, but it's I took 4 or 5 different servers rules and said, I like this, I like this, I like this, I like this. Don't like these. Just nix those. And that's what I came up with. There's still some things that I need to update, but is that description right? Which description? Manini, I know what you're saying. I just need to do the mark moment thing on streams and do a little shorts with them. What do you want to update? The way self-promotion's handled. Some of the channels I need to jiggle about and rename. Really, there needs to be a memes channel, and then maybe a rest of media share sort of channel, and yeah, that's. And then I need to change the self-promotion rules, or not self, but self and others promotion rules, where like I have in the oh, what is it? In the streams section? Oops. There's Tavi's picks and community submissions. So I need to rewrite the rules so that everybody can just make, you know, it's community submissions. So everybody can put links into the community submissions channel. And Tavi's picks are just my picks. You made a server without a memes channel? Yeah, that's I just invited memes to spread out into everything else. Kind of, sort of. I mean, I have a Looky What I Made channel and a Looky What I Found channel, and the memes tend to go to the Looky What I Found channel. But Starwind wouldn't mind joining your Discord server. Sadly, it won't be the most active, at least not during the day as I drive across half the country. No worries. It's just something there for, you know, people to... You don't have to have, like, active real-time conversations. Things can be posted, and then, you know, somebody can get back to you in a few hours, and you can post a reply in a couple of hours, and that's the beauty of messaging programs. Oh yeah, also setting up my my 2D VTuber thing. Oh, I picked one out from the site you showed me. I was messing around with VTube Studio. It's really fun. Ooh. Have you messed around with the in-out parameters? Let's see. Doop-doo. Discord audio, no. That's Discord reactive. Okay, there we go. Let's see, new video source, application capture. This is VTube Studio. Why does it not capture? Meow. Hey, VTube Studio. Oh well. I'll show it to you later in Discord. But there's in the options. They're called model settings. But I just call them in-out parameters because it's the settings that tell the program, okay, the input for, say, face rotation, this, can be from this to this, right? And then tell it, okay, so with this movement, move the model from here to here, right? And if you set your in parameters really narrow, and your out parameters really wide, you can get wide sweeping motions with just a little bit of motion for yourself, and the opposite. And so you can make things really, really expressive, or you can make things a little more muted. I'm gonna do something real quick. And there we go. Oh, Smarter didn't get that far into it. Yeah, they're really fun to mess around with. And you can get, you know, for me, things like, let's see. So the eyes, right? It really depends on... I would make my guy super overreactive. You can. There is a animation multiplier that just applies to everything. And I think I have mine set to 1.3. And it works fairly well. Oi, Babs. It's not a scratching post. Pen! Hello, hello, and thank you for the subs. Thank you. Wait a minute, where's my... There we go. Wait, you resub for 2 more months. Thank you. And welcome back. Wait, where's my chat? There it is. I have my chat on my central monitor now, so that I can read it for the time being without looking way over here, right? But it feels weird because I'm looking here for the chat, and it's actually here. Yeah, the eye movement, and like even for the face, this movement, right? I just said, okay, this is about as far up as I'm comfortable going with my head and my neck. This is as far down as I'm comfortable going with my head and neck. And I said, okay, so map that in parameter to the proper out parameter, which is, you know, this whole range of motion. Same thing with left and right and the tilt. There's also physics multipliers, like my, what do you call it? My braid and the little ribbons by the roses on my arms. They have higher physics multipliers. Certain other things have lower physics multipliers. Pan, gonna be looking as I wind down for bed, maybe drift off listening. Okay. Thanks for poking in. Oh my god, what moth? What moth? What? What's going on? Oh. You gotta have some bounds. They are actually a bit deadened. You mean the booba physics? Yes. That's exactly what they mean. Probably, anyway. Hi, Luna. Welcome. But yeah, that's the booba physics is actually lessened. It's lower than the standard. Like I said, the braid is higher, the little ribbons are higher. I forgot what else had physics. I wonder if the rest of the hair had physics. Anyway. How's your evening going, Luna? Starwind, I don't see a link. Probably blind from driving for nearly 11 hours. You're right. There isn't a link. Why is there not a link? Let me do that and see if we can get the link here, and I will send it over to the YouTube side. I don't know why that was not working. There should... the bot... well, there's 2 different bots. I have one for YouTube and one for Twitch because it can't access both at the same time. But yeah, there it is. There's the link. Thanks for saying something, Starwind. The booba physics on this model is weak. Oh, it's good to hear. Not quite as smooth as some others I've seen, but it's also not as exaggerated as others I've seen. I'm not exactly huge, so I figured this is about right. Or at least with a decent bra. And magic. If I'm, you know, like, I'm a Succubard. If I can't use magic to tame them, then I need to work a little harder at it. Yeah, I do the same. Some boob physics is good, but I don't need to break my spine when I turn. Yeah. Wait. Does boob physics work when I turn? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Then what are you even doing? Yeah. You're a succubus. You have magic. You can get any size you want. True. I can even get cat ears to blend in with the cat girls. Yeah. And the horns are hidden right now, and the wings, and the tail. Blushing up a storm over there, Mom? There we go. Horns are... Horns are... Oh... I'd give myself bigger hips. I don't need more titties, but I wouldn't mind more hip. Yeah, that's true. It's, I mean, I don't exactly have visible hips here. Oh my god, you can do the face? Respectfully? You There's always the, That's why we have that emote. And that's why it's named that. What else do I have? I know this is... Bleh. Bleh. Huh? Oh, this is the eyebrows. I forgot the eyebrows. Vanini, I want to add some ram horns to my model. I love horns. Oh, we love horns? Yeah. I need to find somebody that can do the horns and rig them, though. So, yeah. Getting horns is one thing. Rigging the horns so they actually, you know, don't look totally out of place is a whole nother thing altogether. Wings are a little more forgiving, I think, and so is a tail, but the horns, with how much the head moves, it's a little more, you know? Starwind, horns are always a plus? Huh? On YouTube, in my videos, if you look back all the way at my oldest video, that's the old PNG model. That's much closer to the sort of ideal I have. But getting the horns and the wing and the tail on this model is a little more complicated. And my skills do not lie in 2D arts. So, with that said, eventually, if I'm able to, like, get above, what do you call it? Sustainment income. Like, I can actually get enough to eat what I need and get what I need. Then we can start saving up for commissioning artists for a horn and wings and a tail. Maybe some other things too. Because I know the people who make this, they made this model, DG Studio, I think, will take commissions on their models as well. So I can actually just go back to them and say, hey, can you get the artist and the rigger that worked on this model to do this new thing? Like, all right, so it'll be about this much, and then, yeah. So if you want her to get hornier, then y'all need to gift her monies. Yes. That's one way to say it. Yep. And for those that weren't here a little earlier when I said it, I got Patreon and Coffee set up so that you can just choose either, and you they have the same tiers with the same rewards. Credits and videos as supporters, and then audio, MP3 or FLAC of the readings that I've uploaded so far, just in audio form, so that you can just have local audio files. So yeah. Because I know, like, streaming is a pain and has, requires an internet connection. And also, like, you have the video that goes along with it that just, extra data, extra processing, extra heat, extra electricity. Just no need for that. So, I mean, what's hornier than a succubus? Have you seen stags? Well, did Moth make the succubus blush? A little bit. Muna, I can't wait until I get my 3D model. Oh, are you going the 3D route? Are you going to have a model that's similar to yours? Starwind, oh yeah, when I first started watching you, you were a devil succubus? Yeah. That's, that's why I'm Succubard. It's just the PNG just has too few pixels is the problem, with no way to upgrade it for the time being. And then the middle model, I had to emergency hop off of because that evidently was uses AI generated art. So no for me. And I've actually taken down most of the videos I've had with that model except for Celestia code, which I'll remake and upload as well, so I can just not have any trace of that model. So yeah. Screw Gen AI. It's literally the antithesis to any and all art. Bunnies are literally known for constantly having babies. Not that I want to have children, but they are pretty horny. Ironically, they have no horns. Thanks for standing up against plagiarism. Of course. It's just the whole thing is you. It still feels icky that I used that model and didn't realize it even until I was talking to a friend about rigging and stuff and showed them the art files for that model. Just like, Tabby, I have some bad news. It was bad news, but not the worst thing in the world, and eventually led me to this one. So yeah. And I'm fairly happy about this one, minus the fact that, I have to hide the horns and the wings and the tail. I need to figure out how to get those back. I thought about going the live 2D route. Was going to do that, but Live 2D doesn't work on Linux, and the alternative, well, the dev has... Oh, yeah. That's a whole thing. In fact, Lena, the what do you call it? It's the admin of vt.social, has been going through a lot of shit with that. Did you get your money back by having your bank flag the purchase as fraudulent? No, it just isn't worth it. It was $10. Just like, yeah. Yeah. It's that whole thing is a mess and a half. Just like, right, April, we're done with April's VTuber. Oh no, never mind. We're not done. May read April 2. Used to be super active on Null PTR live Discord, but yeah, the whole thing was a shit show. Yeah, it's the death of human expression. Yeah, it really is. It's there's a right when this all this stuff was really getting kicked off, right? As an artist that has a lot of artist friends, even from the beginning, it was just icky, right? But I think the most well said thing that I heard was, maybe it was TB Skyn, basically said art requires intention, and that's not something that our current computing systems can have, right? Humans, when we do art, there's always some sort of intention behind it. That, even without money involved, right? There's the intention is also what makes the art worth doing as artists. So yeah, no. Ooh. But it feels hollow. You're not looking at a representation of the human experience. It was that soul in art. You're looking at a void devoid of any emotion, just late stage capitalism. Yeah, I think it's late stage capitalism soup, effectively. And take from the artists who are, in almost all cases, not having a great time with life. And not just financially, right? And then, benefit the tech bros and, just the people that don't want to put any effort into art. Well, that was borderline panic attack when my phone notified me you came on. Really glad I clicked. Oh, sorry you're having such a bad day, but glad I could help soothe it. No. Aurora? Good distraction, soothing for my mental health. Good to hear. That's honestly the best sort of compliment. Oh, there's Close Valves. Let's see. What shall we read? Did we read this? We did, didn't we? Modern Heretics. Yeah, there it is. Last time. There's a treatise on mysticism. The First Hold Revolt. Why did I have this queued up? Ah. Interesting. It's just everything. The cancer surgery, saying goodbye to my brother, my brother in the hospital, financial insecurity, hunger. Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot to weigh on a single mind. Then I know how hard it is to reach out to. It's like often the reaching out to people can be, a way to ease the burden even just a little bit. But also, ironically, times like that are perhaps the hardest times to actually do it. I wonder. There it is, yeah. And too much is going on in the world for everyone right now? Yeah, it's been 2020 round 5 it's a doozy. I was looking at some. You feel irrelevant? Mm. Yeah, I can definitely sympathize with that one. Like small, disconnected, irrelevant. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, just like the rest of us. In a lot of ways, yeah. Yeah. It's ironically with, with a place like this, all the people here distanced by gods, hundreds, thousands of kilometers between us all. But still, we exist to each other as humans, which is really the magic of modern technology, isn't it? Your emoji's going. Her whole emoji set is like that. It's all these cute buddies. So good. What was I looking at? You will do a modern life of Uriel Septim the 7th? Trans people are hard to find in physical space, but online there's so many gay people on my phone PC. Yeah, that's true. There are a lot of gay. There's a lot of gay. My cats, they don't know that there's so much gay out there. They see the strange screen and the squiggles. I just see gay. Thanks, Ral. I'm glad my emotes are a hit. You're so cute. And they fit too. So much gay. Raven, I am no gay, but here is nice indeed. Yeah. Let's see. Let me ready up a reading real quick. Go. There we go. Supporting the gays so you can hang out, Raven? Every gay person needs a raven on their shoulder. Luna, I am gay, they are cute. Luna request certified. Yee. See. We read a lot about Argonians last time. Which was fun. But I really need more. I really need somebody to dig up all of the Lusty Argonian made. Because there's the Sultry Argonian Bard Volumes 1 and 2, the Lusty Argonian Maid Volumes 1 and 2, and the Argonian Maid and Oral Tradition, but like, the Lusty Argonian Maid Volume 1 literally starts at Act 4, Scene 3. We have no clue what the whole first 3 acts were like. An oral tradition. Yes, yes. A very oral tradition. We have no clue what everything up to Act 4, Scene 2 looks like. Delete comment. You can't. We already saw. And then, like, it skips from Act 4, Scene 3 to Act 7, Scene 2. Like, what do the intervening 3 acts look like? And then how many more acts are there? Octavia, you should do the King in Yellow. The King in Yellow. What is the King in Yellow? Robert W. Chambers. 1895. Interesting. Oh, short stories. Supernatural horror, weird fiction, romantic stories. Oh. Very interesting. I will keep a tab of that. Open here. A dark raven on her shoulder? Or, you know, a little demon cat. Yeah. A little winged demon cat would be nice too. A tressum, that's what they're called, a tressum. Tressum, yeah. Luna, it's a horror anthology that influenced so much like it influenced people like Lovecraft stuff. Oh, Raven. I was at some point I said everyone needs a well, at least every gay person needs a raven on their shoulder. Who now? The stories revolve around the effects of this story play called The King in Yellow. Interesting. Says it starts out with horror and then eventually goes to romance without the horror elements. It's funny what my model does when I try to sip tea. Oh, odd. It didn't do the weird jumpy thing. It's a part of the gay combo. Gay friendship group has the bubbly femme girl, the stone butch tomboy, the edgelord autistic queen with the raven on her shoulder. Ah. Awkward smiles go. Welcome, welcome. Oh, welcome back. No tea zoomies? Nope. It's non-calf herbal tea. I think it's hibiscus, orange, a couple other things. It's a really, really, really dark pink tea. Then I have some lemon and some honey in there. And it makes it so my throat doesn't get absolutely wrecked from stream. Oh, that sounds so interesting. It tastes really good. Although it starts out, so it's fairly acidic as far as I can tell, and it's fairly sharp, almost sour to begin with. And so I have to add much less lemon juice and a little more honey than I would with something like English breakfast tea. Gotta take care of your throat. All this talking? Yeah. All this talking. Yapping and yammering and just going on and on. It's a raven, you're surrounded by the queers. Yeah. It's kind of what happens when the streamer is, you know, trans femme. And ADHD. Yeah. That probably helps too. Also, I have a range. He's teaching me how to joke around trans people without being offensive. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Yeah. There's definitely some, even if you don't mean ill, there's definitely some landmines there. And also, like, it's probably good to learn about certain things too that you wouldn't think about otherwise. If you ever have any questions, I'm always open to 'em. Rain, like internet rain? No, no, rain, like, oh, what is her name on here? Is it Rain of Raining? It is, yeah, that Rain. That one. You might find her in my Discord channel. She mains YouTube, but has recently started doing Twitch as well at the same time. So she's like me. I think she has a chatbot running that will go either way. You need to spend time with the community and you'll pick things up. And there are jokes only trans people can make tastefully, and when other people try, it's offensive, similar to any other minority group. Yeah, yeah. Generally, it's kind of how it goes. Rain, my trans YouTube older sister. Wait, you're younger than Rain? Huh. Things I didn't know. Honestly, the best thing, the best skill that you can learn is to go when somebody says, "Hey, so this particular thing is really offensive in this way." The best thing you can learn is to go, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Can you tell me more?" And then just learn. I don't know, sometimes I wonder how it'd be if Octavia did the bark for me thing. But bark for me? What is the bark for me thing? I mean, I'm not really into pet play, but I'm kind of curious. An academic curiosity? Something like that. I think I would be much more likely to say meow for me. My cats generally aren't, I'd meow on camera if you paid me. Meow. I'd give you if you know asking person to bark for you in a very sultry voice. Oh, 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 oh. Huh. You're 20. What? I thought you were like 40. Let's see. What would it be like? Something like yeah, kitten. Something like that. Octavia's the realization hits. Well, not so much the realization. Like I know it's definitely kink related. Again, not so much into pet play, but academically. I know of the things. It doesn't make no, never do that again. You're too good. What is pet play? Oh, I was gonna say it's much easier if you just search for it, but I suppose you have certain limitations. Pet play is generally whether it's human pets or more human, like cat girl, puppy girl role play type thing. And it's a spectrum, right? But yeah, some people like having pets. Some people really like being treated like a pet and taken care of like pets. And yeah, and sometimes these people find each other and manage to communicate this. Panini, just use your imagination. Someone pretends to be an animal and the other person pretends to be the owner. Yeah, that's barely succinct way to say it. Luna, never do that again. You're too good. I really? It didn't feel very. Maybe it's just because I'm not used to it. Like I haven't practiced it. Consensually, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Like everything else in kink. Like I could bite them, they'd still give me treats and everything I want. I could get it. So I'm sure most of you have seen the comic that's 2 frames. And there's a guy and I think it's an office setting. 3 characters, a guy, a fairly seductive woman, and her coworker. And the coworker is telling the woman off because the woman has just said, you know, I'm an animal in bed. And then it cuts to the next scene where she has the other covers. She's poking her head out of the covers, going, "Pet me and give me treats." Pet play usually involves punishment as well. Yeah, it can. I mean, that's sort of its own, not its own thing, its own part. Like it can have it, it might not. It just depends on the people involved. Some people don't like punishment. Some people don't like pain. Some people don't like certain other things about it. Yeah. Some people have a praise kink. Vanini, I'm surprised when people don't know what pet play is, honestly. I mean, some people are slightly more sheltered than we are. Just surrounded by furries. You know, that would do it, wouldn't it? I just realized I've never been fully a furry. But well, I guess a succubus. Well, no, succubus is a little more human than furry. But I've always been furry adjacent. Like always, like since God, it must have been like 13, 14 when I started realizing, oh, I'm furry adjacent. Smiles. I've done a lot of catching up since my homeschool days. Oh yeah, I can imagine that would be a lot of catching up to do. I'm glad you've been able to do it though. There's a lot of fun things out there. I imagine a homeschooling environment might not introduce you to. Some more innocent than others. Like books. Books are innocent, I swear. I'm well learned now. Exposed to the fun things of life. There we go. Starwind, I'm not a furry myself, but I sort of into other men that are. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, furries are a good group. And also like furries share basically the IT space with trans femmes, Like, if trans femmes and furries didn't exist, we would just be technologically screwed the world over. But also, furries in general are a just disastrously queer group. And I say that in the most loving way possible. So much so that anti-furry sentiment is often a cover for anti-queer sentiment. And there's, writings on that that go far, far deeper than anything I could explain here. But yeah, very. If you're queer, you can often just accidentally walk your way into being furry adjacent, or maybe not even walk your way, just kind of accidentally be sat in the middle of 17 and a half furries. Mother went out with someone, but he asked to pet me and was like, okay, but that pet my hair the wrong direction. I wasn't tall enough to bite his hair. Oh, what in the sweet hells is wrong with that person? I mean, never mind. I'm pretty sure I know what's wrong. Well, at least some of the things that are wrong. I'm sure that it could be an essay. When I feel so sheltered, it wasn't until I was like 16 or 17 when I realized there was a thing called a furry. And it wasn't until 18 I was like, oh, wow, I am a furry. Yeah. It's still not too bad, I think. And some people are lucky and get to know themselves a little earlier. Some people, they don't get the freedom and the safety to really explore themselves until later on. Of course, that goes for trans people as well. Some people have to wait until, God, it's 40, 50 later sometimes. I was fairly late, but I still feel fairly fortunate that I was able to transition when I did. And if y'all are into tech stuff and furries, you should check out Degen Tech. There's also the cat ears that are hidden in the closet. These? These are just to blend in with the cat girls, though. Yeah. I'm in this comment, but don't forget the cat collar with the bell on it. That's fair. And make sure that if you're actually treating it as a collar, it's nice and sturdy. Unless you want it to be decorative, in which case sturdy and decorative often don't pair well together. My chokers tend to be decorative. Oh, and chokers are just collars for people that want to be slightly fancier. Yeah. Moth, I already wear cat ears and collars with bells and trinkets since high school. Wear them to work, too. People think I'm weird, but I literally cannot give a shit. It's mostly decorative. I suppose it's kind of like an instruction manual in a way, isn't it? Apply here. Anyway, Raven, I feel like I can't contribute to this conversation. I don't know if that's good or bad. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. No edgelord fashion for Raven? No. I have no clue what Raven dresses like in real life. Raven, are you more of the slacks, button-ups, and waistcoats sort of person? Oh, Moth, I think so many furries are trans because it's a fandom that lets you try being someone else so people can be their real selves, but in, like, rat form. Yes. So, furries are, by their core nature, it's a transhuman fandom, right? So, that same sense of freedom can help people explore themselves, or it can go the other way. They can be trans, and so that sort of transhuman exploration can be well, not transhuman. With being trans, it's more transgender, but outside of your society-given, society-judged roles, perhaps? Panini, I love chokers. They're so sexy. I want more. Same. I want good ones. I have a few that go fairly well with my stuff, but oh, you know what? Let me run 3 more minutes of ads real quick so that there aren't pre-rolls on, and I will see most of you in roughly 3 minutes. Raven, yes. In the wintertime, I try to use long coats and scarves. Ah. I'm usually a long coat person myself, too. To the ad realm. um. Unfortunately, I think that's most people at the moment. So we'll see, we'll see. I suppose that that probably means probably start actually reading. Granted, I also adore chatting too. And I can see why some streamers just like do just chatting streams sometimes. Just for like a few hours. I know a lot of streamers, some smaller streams especially, will just go straight into the game and just keep chatting from there. But I know some larger streamers will just like sit down and chat for literal hours, 2-3 hours, and then get in the games. So I'm starting to understand what they feel like. Lately I've been dressing mostly cyberpunk goth. Turtleneck, long sleeve, crop top with neon lining, shoulder cutout. Okay. Patchwork cargo pants, pockets and buckles and straps, and hooded fishnet long coat. Hooded fishnet long coat. Huh. I'm gonna have to. And white Doc Martens. Or that to the bookshop. Oh yeah, I'm in Adrel. Oh, oops. Oops. Right. Oh, wait a minute before we get to properly talking, I suppose. Raven is nice to wear in that fashion, but it's not very comfortable in summer, so you use regular clothing, but in black when possible. I mean, button-ups can be fairly cool, especially if you roll up sleeves. The kitty ears, the kitty ears. Oh, I think we have most people back by now. 15 more seconds and then... Thank you for the redeem, Luna. Luna, Octavia's a cat girl. Don't be fooled. She's just not telling us. That's exactly what I want people to think. Makes it easier to blend into society that way. Raven, and also I have to tie my hair up. Yeah, summer long hairs, yeah. Cat, yeah? yeah. But when you do, just go full send. Don't think about just wear everything you've always wanted to. It's essential to finding your style. Oh, Luna. I want to move out already so I can dress more femme. Yeah, yeah. Luna, I'm really looking forward to moving in with my fiance. Ah. Multi-Catavia mode active. Yeah. Yeah. Wrong. No. Oh dear, oh dear. I think I was cat ears most of last stream too. All right, let's yeah. I mean, honestly, for the summer, I just wear very little clothing. Trying to get more cute crop tops for the summer, and luckily you can just make those yourself. Ah, yeah, summer is good for the what do you call it? The cute skin exposing fashion. All right. Let us get into actually reading, shall we? Oh wait, I need to well, lately I've been dressing mostly cyberpunk goth, turtleneck long sleeve crop top with neon lining and shoulder cut, patchwork cargo pants with pockets and buckles and straps, hooded fishnet long coat. That I don't get. Fishnet long coat. Also, white shoes. That is brave. I can never keep. I would never be able to keep white shoes clean. There's a reason I have black pretty much everything. This is like black dirt doesn't show up too much on it as long as you know just wipe it off now and again. And for the rest, blood doesn't show up on black, so that's a thing. Don't worry, the blood I was trying to avoid showing on my clothes was 99.9% my own. Raven, I'd like to go back. I'd love to go back in time to the 18th or 19th century, dress the way I'd like. Honestly, you can do it now, you know. And nowadays, you'll stand out. You'll look good and stand out. The red means I love you, Octavia. I never said that. Oh, I just did, didn't I? Yeah. No. The red means that well, it means great many things. Part of which was that my genetic lottery was drawn very poorly, and also that I didn't have the correct hormones in my body. When I was on testosterone, I was basically bleeding as if I had a darn womb. Like in terms of amount, just spread out over a whole month. Not nosebleeds, no, bleeding. Just put it simply, if a hair follicle exists, it can bleed. But also, it's Crafty Crowbat. Welcome back. It's good to see you again. Cute part is cute. Oh, concern. Don't worry. Once I got on estrogen, about half a lifetime too late, pretty much everything cleared up. So yeah, turns out the solution was just estrogen. And that part's not even a lie. The estrogen has actually solved the bleeding problem. Ow. Yeah. The amount that's funny that testosterone was the solution to some of my medical issues. Yeah, it turns out some of our bodies do better with other hormones. Gotta love estrogen, my favorite drug. Same. Oh, a world without estrogen is a horrible, horrible thing. Now, let's see. So a lot of people have been playing Oblivion, the remaster. Your voice makes my knees weak. See, my advice generally is every day is leg day. Sorry, I got dragged into the depths of despair, but I'm silly again, so hi. Welcome back, welcome back. Sorry, you've been going through it. That's... Oh. They should offer testosterone to people with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, even if they aren't trans. Who cares if you get nose hair, if it means you can walk? Yeah. On my side, that's... I mean, I have, ADHD. So, I have Ehlers-Danlos, or most likely do anyway. Had to go to physical therapy because my knee is flexible on the wrong axis. But I know a lot of people have been playing the Oblivion remaster. So here are a few little tales that will catch you up on what you need to know going into it. Actually, might just, let's see. There we go. I'll just put it in the Oblivion Remaster category. Normally it's more generic reading, right? Elder Scrolls reading, but I'll just throw it in that category since I'll just be reading books from only Oblivion? Yeah, we'll just go with only Oblivion. I know I have the commentaries on the Miss James Xerxes lined up. I think Modern Heretics is also Oblivion. What's Mysticism? Yeah, Mysticism is also Oblivion. So yeah. Plenty of Oblivion books. Yay. Legs, I like those. Yeah, I'm fairly fond of mine as well. Although, they do have a rather bad habit of not doing what I need them to do sometimes. Now, let's see. Yeah, sec to stretch, and then I'll get going on the reading. Alright, so this is the short life of Uriel Septim the Seventh, who is the emperor that you meet in the beginning of Oblivion. And this book covers events leading up to, but not including, the Oblivion crisis of Third Era 433, early within which Emperor Uriel Septim the Seventh is assassinated by members of the Daedric cult, the Mythic Dawn. This includes the events taking place. This includes the events taking place in the tales of the Elder Scrolls Arena, Daggerfall, and Morrowind. Third Era 368 to 349. So this is roughly half a century before the events of the Elder Scrolls Oblivion. The early decades of Emperor Uriel's life were marked by aggressive expansion and consolidation of imperial influence throughout the empire, but especially in the east, in Morrowind and Blackmarsh, where the empire's power was limited, imperial culture was weak, and native customs and traditions were strong and staunchly opposed to assimilation. During this period, Uriel greatly benefited from the arcane support and shrewd counsel of his close advisor, the Imperial Battle Mage, Yagar Tharn. The story of Uriel's marriage to the Princess Carlavaria is a less happy tale. Though she was a beautiful and charming woman, and greatly loved and admired by the people, the Empress was a deeply unpleasant and a deeply unpleasant, arrogant, ambitious, grasping woman. She snared Uriel's septum with her feminine wiles, but Uriel's septum thereafter soon regretted his mistake and was repelled by her. They heartily detested one another, and went out of their ways to hurt one another. Their children were the victims of this unhappy marriage. With his agile mind and vaunting ambition, Uriel soon outstripped his master at the balanced skills of threat and diplomacy. Uriel's success in co-opting House Lalu as an advanced guard of imperial culture and economic development in Morrowind is a noteworthy example. However, Uriel also grew in pride and self-assurance. Yagharthan fed Uriel's pride, and hiding behind the mask of an outpaced former master counselor, Tharn purchased the complete trust that led ultimately to Uriel's betrayal and imprisonment in Oblivion, and Tharn's secret usurpation of the imperial throne. Third Era 483 to 489 to let me get my numbers right real quick. This is 389 to 399. Oblivion takes place just 30 years after this. Little is known of Uriel's experience while trapped in Oblivion. He says he remembers nothing but an endless sequence of waking and sleeping nightmares. He says he believed himself to be dreaming and had no notion of the passage of time. Publicly, he long claimed to have no memory of the dreams and nightmares of his imprisonment, but from time to time, during the interviews with the Emperor that formed the basis of this biography, he would relate details of nightmares he had and would describe them as similar to the nightmares he had when he was imprisoned in Oblivion. He seemed not so much unwilling as incapable of describing the experience. But it is clear that the experience changed him. In Third Era 389, he was a young man, full of energy, pride, and ambition. During the Restoration, after his rescue and return to the throne, he was an old man, grave, patient, and cautious. He also became conservative and pessimistic, where the policies of his early life were markedly bold, even rash. Uriel accounts for this change as a reaction to and revulsion for the early teachings and counsel of Yagharthan. However, Uriel's exile in Oblivion also clearly drained and wasted him in body and spirit, though his mind retained the shrewd cunning and flexibility of his youth. The story of Tharn's magical impersonation of the Emperor, the unmasking of Tharn's imposture by Queen Berenzia, and the roles played by King Edward, Rhea Silmain, and her champion in assembling the Staff of Chaos, defeating the renegade Imperial battle mage Yagharthan, and restoring Uriel to the throne, is treated at length in Stern Gambog's excellent 3-volume biography of Berenzia. There is no reason to recount that narrative here. Summarized briefly, Yagharthan's neglect and mismanagement of imperial affairs resulted in a steady decline in the empire's economic prosperity, allowed many petty lords and kings to challenge the authority of the empire, and permitted strong local rulers in the east and the west to indulge in open warfare over lands and sovereign rights. Third Era 399 through 415. No? Corbat, someone tingle. I'm glad to hear it. Raven, by the way, lady, just in case, I'm still updating the text I've sent you regarding my books. Oh, in case you'd like to know, adding a bit of storytelling alongside work. Okay. Hopefully I can actually have the time to edit the script sometime soon, hopefully. Third Era, 399 to 415. So this goes up to just 18 years before the Bolivian crisis. Restoration, the Miracle of Peace, and Vardenfell. During the Restoration, Uriel Septim turned from the aggressive campaign of military intimidation and diplomatic accommodation of his early years and relied instead on clandestine manipulation of affairs behind the scenes, primarily through the agencies and the various branches of the Blades. A complete assessment of the methods and objectives of this period must wait until the Emperor's death, when the voluminous diaries archived at his country estate may be open to the public, and when the Blades no longer need to maintain secrecy to protect the identities of its agents. Two signal achievements of this period point to the efficacy of Uriel's subtle policies. The Miracle of Peace, also known popularly as the Warp in the West, which we have read about, that transformed the Iliad Bay region from an unruly assortment of warring petty kingdoms into the well-ordered and peaceful modern counties of Hammerfell, Sentinel, Wayrest, and Orsinium, and the colonization of Vardenfell, presided over by the skillful machinations of King Helseth of Morrowind and Lady Baron Zaya, the Queen Mother, which brought Morrowind more closely into the sphere of imperial influence. Third Era 4:15 through 30. The Golden Peace, King Helseth's court, and the Nine in the East. Following the Miracle of Peace, best described in Per Vetterson's Daggerfall, A Modern History, the Empire entered a period of peace and prosperity comparable to the early years of Uriel's reign. With the Imperial Heartland and West solidly integrated into the Empire, Uriel was able to turn his full attention to the East, to Morrowind. Exploiting conflicts at the heart of Morrowind's monolithic tribunal religion, and the long-established Great House system of government, and taking advantage of the terrible threat that the corrupt divine beings at the heart of the tribunal religion presented to the growing colonies in Vardenfell, Uriel worked through shadowy agents of the Blades and through the court of King Helseth in Morrowind to shift the center of political power in Morrowind from the Great House councils to Helseth's court, and took advantage of the collapse of the Orthodox tribunal cults to establish the Nine Divines as the dominant faiths in Hulalu and Vardenfell districts. Hasfat Antabolis' treatment of the establishment of the Nine of the East in his 4-volume Life and Times of the Nerevarine is comprehensive. However, he fails to resolve the central mystery of this period. How much did Uriel know about the prophecies of the Nerevarine, and how did he learn of their significance? The definitive resolution of this and other mysteries must await the future release of the Emperor's private papers. There we go. Must await the future release of the Emperor's private papers, or a relenting of the Blade's strict policies of secrecy concerning their agents. And that was a short life of Uriel Septim VII. Let's see, what was the other book that I was looking at? Modern Heretics, that's one. Oh. Uriel spread their religion to gain influence? Yeah. I mean, fairly common geopolitical tactic. There's something that well, so remember we talked about how divine beings generally gain their divinity through worship, right? So if you have beings that are gaining power through people's devotion, followers' devotion, then you can do the reverse of that. If you strip that devotion and those followers, then those entities start to lose power. Currently, the Aldmeri Dominion is trying to do it with, what's his name? Talos, that's the word. Talos. But yeah, not the first. Religious faith hold equal influence, and that means power? It can, yeah. Even without the direct feeding of power into those, the worshipped entities. Quite a bit of political, I suppose it would be in the realm of soft power, right? So armies are hard power. Military might is hard power. Soft power is sort of socio-political influence. Just a real-world example, and a fairly benign one. Japan has quite a lot of soft power through the world's fondness for Japanese culture, whether that means manga and anime, or cooking, or fashion, right? All of those spread as influence, and thus soft power. What happens if the 9 disagree with them, though? I'm curious to see what would happen if giving them all the power were to backfire. Generally, so the 9 divines in Tamriel generally don't exert direct influence over mortal matters. They tend to give blessings to those who worship them to some degree. Each divine gives a different sort of blessing. Akatosh has intervened on very few occasions. Back when he gave Saint Alessia part of his dragon blood, that was direct intervention. And then also, unfortunately, redacted, which I cannot say today. On any other day I would, but redacted. Not the 18+ sword either. Well, I mean, sure, somebody's drawn an 18+ sword of this redacted, but Wait, why today? Because we are in the Oblivion category, and I'm reading Oblivion books. And so I can't talk about really much of anything past a few hours into Oblivion. Or I'm not willing to. I absolutely could. I could be so naughty and just blab and blab. But I'm trying to be good. Crafty Cravat, I don't know what naughty things you're saying. Redacted. Is what I could be saying. Naughty Octavia? No, I'm not being naughty. That's why. If I weren't redacting things, then I would be naughty. Perhaps we'll also do the Amulet of Kings. Can't do Rise and Fall of the Blades. Could do Warp in the West as well, maybe. So the Warp in the West, as Bonini found out, is much better listened to with a map of Tamriel in front of you. Makes way more sense. Why did I press scroll lock? I was aiming for F11 and I hit scroll lock. Yeah, it helps a lot. Yeah, it's... Oh. You know what? I really need a... I need to set up my bot so that when you do exclamation mark map, it just links to a map of Tamriel. So that people that are confused can just go, oh, okay. So this, well, that's really smart. I haven't done it yet, so knowing and doing are two wholly separate things, unfortunately. However, writing it down does get you part way there. Today is the 10th of May? Oops, wrong one. There we go. So this is called The Amulet of Kings, written by Menengras Monhona. And this is about a piece of jewelry that you will encounter quite early on in Oblivion, around the Emperor's neck, and then in your pocket. Raven, my lady, is not naughty at all. She's a nice, elegant, and respectable lady. Most of the time. And every once in a while, I ask people to meow for me. Aula, welcome, welcome. It's good to see you. I'm glad I finally managed to catch a stream. Hi. Hello, hello. Same Aula from Fedi, correct? From Mastodon? Wait, you do run Mastodon, right? Or do you run Miski or Akuma? You don't run Chukya or anything weird like that, right? Raven, shh, I'm trying to help. Don't worry, it's okay. Right, so the Amulet of Kings. Ala, yes, that's me from Mastodon, yeah? Oh, welcome, welcome. It's good to see you. Just in case for anybody who is... Oh gods, I need to actually paste this into the YouTube side now, don't I? Because the bot isn't working. Bot, why are you not working? If you'd like to join the Discord, here's the link to the Discord. We talk about things. We share memes. Stuff like that. And also, you get to... It's one of the few places that'll actually put warnings of stream on. So if I'm going to stream in however long. And also the actual I've gone live announcement. So it can be a reliable way for doing that, getting that info. And also, if you'd like to hear the audio only, actually have the files downloaded and everything, any monthly supporters on my Ko-fi or my Patreon get access to those in MP3 and FLAC. So if you like those, that's a good way to get them and support me at the same time. Luna, hi, I'm the weird follower running iceshrimp.net. Is iceshrimp even supported anymore? Or was that Firefish that died? I mean, our instance just runs glitch sock, but Firefish died? Yeah, rip. Honestly, I wish I could get some of the Miski functionality on glitch. You guys are making shit up, ain't ya? No, these are all pieces of software. I'm sure multiple people here will back me up. Owler could, Luna could. Raven can't, but Rain of Raining could. Who else can here? I don't know if Awkward Smiles and Starwind are used to Fetty at all. But yeah, these are all names of software. Mastodon is a certain type of software. GlitchSock is a fork of that software. Chukya is a further fork of GlitchSock. Then there's Akuma, which is a Luna Owler. Was Akuma a fork? Vanini, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'll back you up anyway. That's good to know. iShrimp.js is a direct fork. That's maintenance only mode. The author Zotan was like, fuck JavaScript, and there are too many architecture issues with iShrimp. I'm starting from scratch, and she started iShrimp.net. Oh, okay. And then there's Firefish, or it was Firefish. And there's a software called Miski, which is also on Fetty. Much more popular in Japan. Again, these all interface together fairly well. They all talk to each other. That's why we can all be on various instances that run different forms of software, and still talk to each other. But there's Miski, and then Sharky is a fork of that. There's one or two other forks of Miski that I don't remember. I use ChuckyFE as a front end for iShrimp.net. Wow. Why? I'm sure there's a well thought out programmer reason for that. But it just feels like a why moment. Alright. Let me read about the Amulet of Kings then. Instead of saying weird names. I'll say weird names that are related to lore instead. Like Menengris Monhona. Well, and pretty much every single other name in here. Aliens. Cyrodiil. It's D-I-I-L. It's a double I. Cyrodiil. And Akatosh. Alright. This is the Amulet of Kings, written by Menengris Monhona. In the first years of the First Era, a powerful race of elves called the Aelids, or the Heartland High Elves, ruled central Tamriel with an iron hand. The high and haughty Aelids relied on the patrons, the treacherous Daedra lords, to provide armies of Daedra with dead spirits. With these fearless magical armies, Aelids preyed without mercy upon the young races of men, slaughtering or enslaving them at their whim. On behalf of the suffering human races, Saint Alessia, the first in the line of Cyrodiils, sought the aid of Akatosh, the dragon god of time, and the ruler of the noble Aedra. Akatosh, looking with pity upon the plight of men, drew precious blood from his own heart, and blessed Saint Alessia with this blood of dragons, and made a covenant that so long as Alessia's generations were true to the dragon blood, Akatosh would endeavor to seal tight the gates of oblivion, and to deny the armies of Daedra and undead to their enemies, the Daedra-loving Aelids. In token of this covenant, Akatosh gave to Alessia and her descendants the Amulet of Kings, and the eternal dragon fires of the Imperial City. Thus does Alessia become the first gem in the Cyrodiilic Amulet of Kings. The gem is the red diamond in the middle of the amulet. This is the symbol of the Empire, and later taken as a symbol of the Septim Line. It is surrounded by 8 other gems, one for each of the divines. And this was in a time before there were 9 divines. Tiber Septim doesn't come around quite yet. so long as the Empire shall maintain its worship of Akatosh and his kin, and so long as Alessia's heirs shall bear the Amulet of Kings, Akatosh and his divine kin maintain a strong barrier between Tamriel and oblivion, so that mortal men need never again fear the devastating, summoned hosts of the Daedra Lords. But if the Empire should slacken in its dedication to the Nine Divines, or if the blood of Alessia's heirs should fail, then shall the barriers between Tamriel and the Daedra realms fall, and Daedra worshippers might summon lesser Daedra and undead spirits to trouble the races of men. And that was the Amulet of Kings. Yes, miss. You have to be up here. I can't reach you down there. Sorry. I don't have that long of arms. You know how it goes. You know the rules, and so do I. There we go. Evidently the answer to Mew refusing to come up here was to sing Rick Astley lyrics at her. Just some nerds being dorks endearingly. Yes, absolutely. Some people are here because they like my voice. Some people are here because they are absolute and utter nerds. I'm one of those. I'm fairly fond of my voice and how far it's come, but mostly just here for the nerdery of it all. Banani, let's go Daedra worshippers. I want to get in on that. So this is the noble Aedra versus the Daedra. I don't know if the Aedra are noble. Again, this is unreliable narrative, right? They aren't actively evil, mostly in that they generally don't perhaps have enough power to step in mortal affairs very often. Especially after creating the world. The Aedra are the ones that sunk most of their power into creating the world, whereas the Daedra just kind of said, but what's the point in that? So they've maintained their power and rule over their pocket dimensions in Oblivion. And so the Daedra can currently hold quite a bit of power. I like the lady. I mean, her voice, yes, indeed. But Nini, I just like talking to you. You're fun to listen to as well. I like listening to people hyper-focus. Ah. It's interesting because reading this, there's definitely a focus to it. But much like playing violin, it's about like 4 or 5 things that I have to worry about at the same time that I'm sort of juggling. And my brain is, processing the words and using the mouth to say the words, right? But then there's multiple periphery things that are constantly being processed. I should word it like it's a special interest. In a way, yeah. Elder Scrolls lore. There's 1 or 2 other lore. World worlds. Elden Ring, stuff like that I like. But definitely the Elder Scrolls is probably chief among them. I like listening to explanations of Tolkien's world, right? But I don't know about actually getting into it myself. Whereas Elder Scrolls, there's so many these short books, right, that are always interesting to get into. That make it a lot easier to get into the lore, I think. But I like listening to people explain their hobbies. Plenty of that going on here, I think. Now then. Read The Amulet of Kings. Modern Heretics. Benny, that's where I am with Elder Scrolls. I don't know about diving into it myself, but you are making it more approachable. That's good to hear. Raven, let's go Middle Earth? Yeah. The Elder Scrolls series is probably the fantasy game series whose mythology comes closest to real-world polytheistic religion, and I think that's pretty neat. Ah. Hadn't thought about it that way, but yeah, I suppose so. Kind of wondering what other various like real world religious things is it mirroring? Anyway. This is called Modern Heretics. It's again a book from Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion by Hadurus of Gottel's Font. It starts as so. And Daedra worship is not prohibited by law in Cyrodiil. Primarily, this is a result of the Imperial Charter granted the Mages Guild, permitting the summoning of Daedra. Nonetheless, chapel and public opinion is so strongly against Daedra worship that those who practice Daedric rituals do so in secret. However, opinions about Daedra worship differ widely in other provinces. Even in Cyrodiil, traditional opinions have changed greatly over the years, and some communities survive which worship Daedra. Some more traditional Daedra worshippers are motivated by piety and personal conviction. Many modern Daedra worshippers are motivated by a lust for arcane power. In particular, questing heroes of all stripes seek after the fabled Daedric artifacts for their potent combat and magical benefits. I, personally, have discovered one community worshipping the Daedra Lord Azura, Queen of Dawn and Dusk. A researcher curious about Daedra worship might research in several ways. Through a study of the literature, through exploration and discovery of ancient Daedric shrines, through questioning local informants, and through questioning worshippers themselves. I've used all these means to discover the Shrine of Azura. First, I read books. References like this one may provide a helpful general background concerning Daedric shrines. For example, my researches led me to understand that in Cyrodiil, Daedric shrines are generally represented by statues of Daedra lords, are generally situated in wilderness locations far from settlements, that each shrine generally has associated with it a community of worshippers, often referred to as a coven, and that shrines have associated with them a particular time, often a day of the week, when a Daedra lord might be solicited, and that Daedra lords often will not deign to respond unless they regard a petitioner of sufficient prowess or strength of character, that they will only respond if given the proper offering, the secret of which offering often known only to the community of worshippers, and, finally, that in return for the completion of some task or service, the Daedra lords will often undertake to offer an artifact of power to a successful quester. Vivian, big crowd tonight? Really? That's good to know. Then, second, I questioned the locals with an intimate knowledge of the wilderness. Two classes of informants I found especially useful. Well-traveled hunters and adventurers who might come across shrines in their travels, and scholars of the Mages Guild. In the case of the Shrine of Azura, both sources were profitable. I discovered a Cheydinhal hunter who had chanced across a strange epic statue in his travels. The statue was of a woman with outstretched arms. In one hand she held a star, in the other hand she held a crescent moon. He had shunned the statue out of superstitious fear, but had marked the location in memory. Far north of Cheydinhal, northwest of Lake Arius, high in the Jarrell Mountains. Then, proceeding to the local Mages Guild with a description of the statue, I was able to confirm that its description, from its description, the identity of the Daedra Lord worshipped. Having discovered the location of the shrine, I visited it and discovered there the community of worshippers. Because the strength of opinion against Daedra worship, the worshippers were, at first, reluctant to admit their identity. But once I had won their trust, they were willing to divulge to me the secrets of the time when Azura would hear petitions, from dusk to dawn, and that the offering required by Azura was glow dust, a substance obtained from the will-o-wisp. I am, of course, nothing more than a chapelman and scholar, so it did not lie within my power to find a will-o-wisp to obtain glow dust. Nor am I certain that Azura would have found me worthy to make such an offering, even had I proffered it. But I was assured that if I had been able to make such an offering, and if it had been accepted, Azura would have given me some sort of quest, which then, if completed, might have earned me the reward of Azura's Star, a Daedric artifact of legendary magical powers. I've since heard rumors of the existence in Cyrodiil of several other Daedric shrines, of the Daedric lords to which they are dedicated, and the Daedric artifacts that might be won by questing heroes. Hircine the Huntsman, for example, is linked in legends to the Saviour's Hide, a powerful enchanted armor. The hammer Volendrung is associated with Malakath, Lord of Monsters, and the eponymously named Mace of Molag Bal, as it is also thought to be the object of Daedra worship. Other Daedric lords, their shrines and worshippers remain to be discovered in Cyrodiil by earnest and persistent researchers. And that was Modern Heretics. Vivian, this is 17 on the YouTube side, huh? ReStreamBot does not factor into it. Otherwise, we would always have way more than we normally do. That's surprising. Oh, welcome everyone. If you've not been here before, my name's Octavia con Amore. I'm the Succubard of this Succubard's library. I read mostly Elder Scrolls books, but well, we've read other things here and there. Might be the most I've seen in a while. Potentially, yes. The girl next door here. Hello, hello. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. Hope you are as well. It's a fairly late night today. I was talking about this earlier, but last night I went to bed about 2300 thinking early bedtime. I woke up 0130, 0200-ish. Couldn't get back to bed until 06. So, and then I slept for 12 hours. So it's less how my day went, and more, I now finally, in this quarter of the day, exist within the day. Finally. Luna also can now confirm Akuma is a fork of Pleroma, also forks. If you get into Fetty, please do not use Soapbox as a front end for Pleroma. I think most people here probably won't have to worry about what a front end and a back end is. Well, at least if it's not a humanoid form. If it's a humanoid form, I'm sure people think about that on an intermittent basis. Our Succubard is growing. Slowly. Vivian, I'm on a quest of indeterminate length to get Octavia to read a Toyota Corolla manual. Getting me to read a Toyota Corolla manual, and getting me to read a Toyota Corolla manual out loud, and getting me to read a Toyota Corolla manual out loud on stream are three different things of differing difficulties. I have such poor luck when it comes to growing limbs. Yeah, it's difficult, I know. Maybe pray to the Daedra. Or maybe not. Either way, you're probably going to be able to at least change the number of limbs you have. Whether that's plus or minus, no guarantees. Yes, but in general, I would want to push people away from soapbox because the person who maintains it is a transphobic Nazi. Would do it. That's why I recognize that software name. Yes. Don't support bigots. Support your local trans cat girl instead, and or Succubard. Banini, enough fluff. I want to hear straight Toyota Corolla gearbox descriptions. Gods. Are we sure it's straight? I mean, a gearbox is called a transmission, right? I'm fairly sure it's trans. And therefore, very, very likely to be gay. Not that there aren't straight trans people, but most of us tend to be some form of not straight. Nothing for the dog girls? Damn. I mean, I've got the kitty ears. That's something for the dog girls, right? Speaking of, I'm going to hide those now. It's been about an hour, so... I'm straight? Yes. One of the very few, I think. I'm also on a transmission. That's fair, that's fair. I tend to call mine a quest, but... a mission. That works too. Vivian, first the limbs, then the Toyota Corolla manual, and now this. Yeah, you're getting absolutely destroyed right now. It's so messed up. I don't know, some people like getting destroyed. I know straight trans girls exist. I'd like to meet one day. That's very true, Benini. That's very true. They are statistically, according to the actual various statistics I see, not that rare. According to my own experience. It's like finding a harpist, honestly. Luna, you've met a few? Lucky. A few out of the hundreds of trans people you know? Vivian, whether or not I like getting destroyed is outside the scope of the stream. That's fair. That's fair. Now, other people... What book would I like to read? What do we have in Oblivion? Oh, right. The Mythic Dawn commentaries. Oh. Bonini? Yeah, what trans girls are always down bad for girls? The trans meetup is just a poly mashup? Yeah, I think you're fairly spot on. Luna, unlikely I like them, but they're straight. Yeah, I suppose, yeah, if you're a trans girl, and you meet another trans girl, but they're straight, then yeah, that's fair. Vivi, I'm here for one reason, pictures of a Spider-Man. Is the picture of Spider-Man in the room with us now? Oh, I kind of want to read the commentaries on the Mysterium Zoxys, but it's long. It's gonna be hard. Maybe I want to read something else. Ma. Vivian, it's all in jest. If Octavia didn't tolerate my antics, I wouldn't be here now, would I? No. Definitely wouldn't. Your antics have been fairly consistent since day one. I think there may be a second meaning you're missing. Oh, Raven. There's no reason to be distraught. Oh, Raven. Oh, dear. There is a second meaning you're missing. Don't worry about it. I'll explain later, probably, maybe. Using the word in the second meaning is within the scope of the stream. I don't know if explaining it would need an 18+ tag or not. Oh, Raven, you sweet summer child. Yeah. You sweet summer lad. I know what she means, but still. Oh, okay. I wonder. Wait a minute. Is the locked room? Oh, the locked room is in Oblivion. Oh, dear. The locked room. There it is. Oh. So this is the story. Wait a minute. I wonder if Night Falls on Sentinel is in here. Oh. So Night Falls on Sentinel is a fairly well, I'm fairly fond of it. But it happens outside of Cyrodiil. But it's a fun little story. More story than it is lore, I think. Moth accidentally took 0.3 instead of 0.2 T, and I am suffering. Really? What sort of, things does it cause? Oh. You know what? That's fair. I think for us, that takes progesterone. I was thinking extra oily skin, too much energy for your, physical form, that sort of thing. Banani, hold on. Put destroying ourselves, others on hold. I'm going to go get some milk and cookies. Sounds good. Oh, that's warm. Destroying ourselves? Huh. Well, that's a thought. Vivian, wait, can I have a cookie? If you nicely. Ask nicely. Paintball. I know it gets bad when staring at anime girls has me drooling. That's fair. That's fair. I would say I would be more than willing to help. But I'm kind of stuck here. Sorry. Please, Vivian, may I have a kitten? Wait, what? Moth, excuse me. I won't tease you too badly. Sometimes it do be that way. Autocorrect. That's fair. Chad, Octavia's bullying me. I'm not bullying. I'm teasing. Gently. Panini, oh why of course, Vivian. Here's your kitty cookie. Great name, by the way. Name. Huh? I don't see it. Huh. Now this story. Vivian, parentheses flirting. Hey girl, how do you feel about some mutually assured destruction? Vivian, what school of magic is this? Manini, flirting? Oh, parentheses flirting is so funny, I can't. oh, I need to run ads real quick. We're gonna do 3 minutes of just chatting before we read again. Sorry. Vivian, unfortunately, my actual flirts are also that bad most of the time. I'm studying how to flirt with girls today. Really? What sort of things did you pick up? Oh, wait. Oh. I suppose some of you are stuck in ads now, which kind of sucks. It would be nice if you weren't. Oh yeah, on the YouTube side, if you'd like to support me, likes, comments, shares, subs, if you like more, all of those help. I also have a Ko-fi and a Patreon. If you'd like to support me monthly, you get credits on videos as well as access to audio files of the various reading videos that I've put out over the last 2 months-ish. Yeah, in both MP3 and FLAC formats. So, and more importantly, in standard and in voice only. So if you want a voice only version of the audio, yes, car, go from. If you'd like a voice only version of the audios for yourself, that would be where to get it. Otherwise, I have social media. If you'd like to follow, I've got a Discord somewhere around here. This is the Discord server for those who are interested. Now, let's see. Banini? There you go. I'll cast my fireball at your ice wall if you keep asking me to. Yes, enthusiastic consent is good. Especially if you're going to cast fireball at them. Vivian, Raven, I can't teach you how to flirt because my methods are questionable. And highly specialized, I would think. Moth, apparently you should just say, oh, such a good girl. And a girl will melt? That's at least a tactical nuke level of firepower? Maybe not. If you want to clip that, you can absolutely clip that. We'll get a clips channel going on the Discord server at some point. That's another change that I have to do. But yes, calling girls good girls is maybe a little more firepower than you might want to start out with. I mean, it will make girls melt. Especially certain types of girls. Absolutely. Especially if they have a praise kink. Luna, I've heard your performance can steal hearts. Think you could handle mine? Flirting or something, I don't know. Wait a minute. I've heard your performances can steal hearts. Think you can handle mine? It's a good line. Especially for performing artists. Just don't go up to a random one and say that. It's someone you actually know, to some degree. Ladies around here are good girls indeed? No? Monkey. I posted the thing I found in Discord Lucky channel? Unless what? Vivian, but do I remain cute when I'm laughing at 3 a.m. at a cursed image is the real question. Some people seem to think so. It's the disease. Oh. But you have no idea how much better that makes it. Luna, did you see my horrible line? Which one? The I heard your performances can steal hearts line? I read that one twice, I think. I was busy making clips. Oh. So here you go. Here you go. I heard your performances can steal hearts. Think you could handle mine? Back to the clipping you go, Luna. Hurry. Or perhaps it's more. Let's see. I heard your performances can steal hearts. Think you can handle mine? No, that's not quite the right inflection, is it? Think you can handle mine? Something like that. Or more. I heard these performances can steal hearts. You think you could handle mine? Raven, the flirting arts indeed. I have learned the flirting arts indeed. I feel powerful. Yes, but knowing versus being able to put them into practice are two different things. You need practice. Practice. Moth, cute. Thank you. Vivian, my method of flirting is to be really strange and say silly things and drop genuine compliments, followed by just awful jokes. Just fucking aberrant. Is it aberrant or abhorrent? Just fucking abhorrent. Input dumping is in there somewhere. Check this. Just check the Discord meme quick. Wait. Where's the Discord meme? The Discord meme. Oh dear. Moth. A, that's accurate. B, that's we're talking like suitcase level nuclear device, tactical nuclear device, strategic nuclear device. Do not use any of these without consent. I mean, to varying levels of consent. You can't just say that to somebody. that you don't know. If you know them, I mean, you generally know how to gauge that, I think, so. Why not? Because the meme is true, is the issue. But Annie, I think I like teasing people and getting them all squirmy. And bullying people, that's always good. Yes. Bullying isn't always the answer. And like I said, some people have praise kinks. And I'm sure there's people that have both. Which is, I have no clue what that feels like. I mean, I keep worrying it's gonna stop being hot and start becoming annoying because I'm always like this, but maybe that's just me worry. Maybe. Feel it out. And if you say that to the wrong person, it could end up with you being called naughty, and then you're barking, and you're not sure why the night ended up like that. Huh. Sounds like that night with Sanguine. Which is Skyrim, not Oblivion. No. But yes, Moth. Take Luna's wise words to heart. Don't get caught in the blast of the nuke. We'll just practice on girlfriends then. Except I only have 3, and 2 of them are married. To each other. I'm sure friends would be more than willing to humor you. But that is a tragedy. And we're talking encyclopedic game knowledge, huge media library, shelves of non-fiction tomes about heart-level autistic. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, just look behind me. Ostensibly, these are mostly books about the Elder Scrolls. The bookshelf to my right is the Oblivion bookshelf. I think. Fairly sure. They don't have any labels. Help. Luna, I shared a meme that is very similar to the situation. Oh, that. Yeah, no, that sounds about right. That looks about right. For anybody not quite knowing what's going on and what is right, just join the Discord and you'll see. just hop in the Discord if you'd like. The memes are... I normally don't look at the memes during stream, but those two are a little too good. I'll post my shelves in the Discord. Moth, I just finished unpacking my bookshelves at my new place. I'll post my shelves in the Discord. Ooh. Oh. Let's see. Vivian, Octavia, can I post one cursed meme, please? Maybe later after stream? I won't go too long, don't worry. We started... God's 2.5 hours ago. Wait. Panini, I think you'd be surprised how much people actually like that. I may be getting overruled here. And maybe the people want the cursed meme now. And well, I can't stop you. I mean, I can, but I'm far too busy with books and things to unmod you, so we may have derailed the stream a little bit. Well, Moth's meme is... Yeah. Moth's meme is Moth's meme. Anyway. Actually, not so derailed. Night falls on Sentinel. Well, I won't spoil it. But Moth, You better listen to this whole thing. Night falls on sentinels. You have regrets? What? No regrets. You better make me? Oh. Was that a challenge? I mean, I know you want to. I probably won't even have to force you to. Hmm? Now then. Night Falls on Sentinel. Written by Boali. No music played in the nameless tavern in Sentinel. And indeed, there was very little sound except for discreet, cautious murmurs of conversation, the soft pad of the barmaid's feet on stone, and the delicate slurping of the regular patrons, tongues lapping at their flagons, eyes focused on nothing at all. If anyone were less otherwise occupied, the sight of the young red-garbed woman in a fine black velvet cape might have aroused surprise, even suspicion. As it were, a strange figure, out of place in an underground cellar so modest it had no sign, blended into the shadows. Are you Jomic? A stout, middle-aged man with a face older than his years looked up and nodded. He returned to his drink. The young woman took a seat next to him. My name's Habala, she said, and pulled out a small bag of gold, placing it next to his mug. Sure it be, snarled Jomic, and met her eyes again. Who do you want dead? She did not turn away, but merely asked, Is it safe to talk here? No one cares about no one else's problems but their own here. You could take off your cuirass and dance bare-breasted on the table, and none even spit. The man smiled. So, who do you want dead? No one, actually, said Havala. The truth is, I only want someone removed. For a while. Not harmed, you understand. And that's why I need a professional. You come highly recommended. Who you been talking to? Asked Jomic dully, returning to his drink. A friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. One of them friends don't know what he's talking about, grumbled the man. I don't do that anymore. Abala quietly took out another purse of gold, and then another, placing them at the man's elbow. He looked at her for a moment, and then poured the gold out and began counting. As he did, he asked, Who do you want removed? Just a moment, smiled Habala, shaking her head. Before we talk details. Pardon. I want to know that you're a professional and won't harm this person very much. And that you'll be discreet. You want discreet? The man paused in his counting. Alright, I'll tell you about an old job of mine. It's been, by your king, I can hardly believe it, more than 20 years. No one but me is alive who had anything to do with the job. I was back before the time of the war, bet, and you remember that? I was just a baby. Of course you was, Jomic smiled. Everyone knows that King Lawton had an older brother, Grecleth, who died, right? And then he got his older sister, Abki, who married that king fella in Daggerfall. But the truth is that he had 2 elder brothers. Really? Bala's eyes glistened with interest. No lie, he chuckled. We had a fable fella called Arthago, Queen King's firstborn. Anyway, this prince was heir to the throne, which his parents wasn't thrilled about. But then the king, she squeezed out 2 more princes who looked a lot more fit. That's when me and my boys got hired on, to make it look like the first prince got took off by the Under-King or some such story. I had no idea, the young woman whispered. Of course you didn't. What's the point? Jomick shook his head. Discretion, like you said. Bagged the boy, dropped him off deep in an old ruin, and that was that. No fuss, just a couple of fellows a bagging a club. That's what I'm interested in, said Abala. Technique. My friend, who needs to be taken away, is weak also, like this prince. What is the club for? It's a tool. So many things was better in the past, and around no more just because people today prefer ease or use to what works right. Let me explain. There's 71 prime pain centers in an average fella's body. Elves and Khajiit being so sensitive and all, got 3 and 4 more respectively. Argonians and Slodes, almost as many as 52 and 67. Jomick used his short, stubby fingers to point out each region in Habala's body. 6 in your forehead, 2 in your brow, 2 in your nose, 7 in your throat, 10 in your chest, 9 in your abdomen, 3 on each arm, 12 in your groin, 4 in your favorite leg, and 5 in the other. That's 63, replied Habala. No, it's not, growled Jomick. Yes, it is, the young lady cried back, indignant that her mathematical skills were being questioned. 6 plus 2 plus 2 plus 7 plus 10 plus 9 plus 3 for one arm and 3 for the other plus 12 plus 4 plus 5. 63. I must have left some out, shrugged Jomick. The important thing is that to become skilled with a staff or a club. Got to be a master of these pain centers. Done right, a light tap could kill or knock out without so much as a bruise. Fascinating, smiled Habala. And no one ever found out. Why would they? Boy's parents, the king and the queen, are both dead now. Other children thought their brothers got carried off by the Under-King. That's what everybody thinks. And all my partners are dead. Of natural causes? Ain't nothing natural that ever happens in the bay, you know that. One fella got sucked up by one of them Telenu. Another died of that same plague that took the queen and Prince Greklith. Another fella got himself beaten up to death by a burglar. You got to keep low out of sight, like me, if you want to stay alive. Jomick finished counting the coins. You must want this fella out of the way bad. Who is it? It's better if I show you, said Habala, standing up. Without a look back, she strode out of the nameless tavern. Jomick drained his beer and went out. The night was cool, with an unrestrained wind surging off the waters of the Iliac Bay, sending leaves flying like whirling shards. Habala stepped out of the way. Habala stepped out of the alleyway next to the tavern and gestured to him. As he approached her, the breeze blew open her cape, revealing the armor beneath and the crest of the King of Sentinel. The man stepped back to flee, but she was too fast. In a blur, he found himself in the alley on his back, the woman's knee pressed firmly against his throat. The king has spent years since he took the throne looking for you and your collaborators, Jomick. His instructions to me what to do when I found you were not specific, but You've given me an idea. From her belt, Abella removed a sturdy cudgel. A drunk stumbling out of the bar heard a whimpered moan, accompanied by a soft whisper coming from the darkness of the alley. Let's keep better count this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that was Night Falls on Sentinel. She's so mean. But also, I find the end of that rather suggestive. Factorios, are you a psychopath on the loose? Because by the 9 divines, your beauty is assaulting me. That's a good Oblivion pickup line. That is a good Oblivion pickup line. Welcome to the stream, Factorios. Oh. I saw your message out of the corner of my eye while I was reading. Sorry I couldn't say hi earlier, but... Oh, and thank you for the follow. Thank you, thank you. But yeah, for anybody who doesn't have the context, there's a psychopath on the loose is generally what the various NPCs say when you go around attacking random people in the cities. Hence the beauty is assaulting me. Benini Raven, just don't think about it so hard. It's not about rehearsed lines, it's about being quick on your feet. Raven, talk about flirting. I only know one line on flirt. You're more fair than all the jewels. You're more fair than all the jewels that laid beneath the earth. It's a very dwarven. Wow. Please don't play with that one. I'm sorry. Thank you. Would you like to be in my lap? Yeah. Come on. Yes. No? Just want the chair tonight? Okay. Is that from Lord of the Rings? It does sound like it's from Lord of the Rings. I'm glad you enjoyed the pickup line. Very, very in theme. I'm going to have to try to remember that one, honestly. But if flirting is a dance you play with someone, it requires 2 to play. Or 3, or 4, or 5, or... That looked like an 8. But yes, it does take 2 to tango. At least 2 to tango. You can do other activities if you have more than 2. What activities? You know, you'll think of it. Probably. Maybe. Now then. That's why my interface felt weird. Let me do one thing real quick. And then we can keep reading. Rain! Hello, hello! Welcome, welcome! It's good to see you. Did you just wake up? Or did you just get off of doing a stream? Vivian, flirting. Hey girl, Have, uh, you do, there's this guy who breaks in people's homes and he puts mayo in their cereal and then leaves. Isn't that weird? That is a bit weird. A bit weird. Just woke up? Wow. Good morning to you. I suppose it is rare for me to stream during this time of day nowadays, isn't it? Generally, at this time of night. I see you waking up and posting on Fetty. Oh, as always, I have social media. I have Mastodon/Fetty. I have Blue Sky. They're in the description if you'd like to follow me. The Discord, of course, is where I put stream alerts as well as various other things, updates. What story would we like to read next? I thought I had a few lined up, didn't I? We've done the Amulet of Kings. We just did Night Falls on Sentinel. This is Modern Heretics. We read that. Right, and then we read A Short Life of Uriel Septim the 7th. And then... Right, so there's the Locked Room. Maybe some other ones that we can look through. So that was Night Falls on Sentinel. The Rearguard is also here. Although I just released a video of the Rearguard. If you'd like to go read that. We'll probably not spend any time on that tonight. There's the Thief of Virtue. Do I have a document for the Thief of Virtue? I do not. Or is it Thief of Virtue? Is that Thief of Virtue? Thief of Virtue. Oops. Let's see. Go. Would that one work? I'm not sure. But this is another slightly suggestive work. Not quite as bad as the Argonian series. Again, I'm still looking for more Lest Argonian Maid related stuff. So if you know, please tell me. Because I know of Lest Argonian Maid Volume 1 and 2, Sultry Argonian Bard Volume 1 and 2, and then the Argonian Maid and Oral Tradition. And those 5 are the only ones I know. Well, you can't just read those 5 all day, every day, and just, far too little actual material. So. But anywho, this is the Thief of Virtue. Speaking of flirting, let me tell you the tale of the Thief of Virtue. In the land of Hammerfell, in the city of Such, there lived a baron who was quite wealthy. He was a noted collector of rare coins. Baroness Veronique found the whole thing quite tedious. However, she did appreciate the lifestyle that the baron's wealth provided. Ravius Tyrannus was a noted thief. He claimed to be a master thief in the mythical Guild of Thieves. However, that was most likely just a braggadocio. The only known thieves' guild was wiped out over 450 years ago. Ravius decided that the baron should share his wealth. Specifically, he should share it with Ravius. Raven, so much flirting has emptied my energy. It's alright. Just watch and learn. The wily thief crept into the Baron's castle one night, intending to do just that. The walls of the castle were noted for their height and unscalability. Ravius cleverly used an arrow of penetration to affix a rope to the top of the battlements. Once on the battlements, he had to evade the Baron's guards by hiding in the shadows of the crenellations. He was able to work his way to the keep undetected. Entering the keep was child's play for a thief of his caliber. However, a cunning lock was with no less than 13 pins protected the private quarters of the Baron. Ravius broke only 9 lockpicks to open it. Using only a fork, a bit of string, and a wineskin, he disabled the 7 traps guarding the Baron's coin collection. Truly, Ravius was a master among thieves. With the coins safely in his grasp, Ravius began his escape only to find the way blocked. The Baron had found the opened door and was raising the guards to scour the castle. Ravius fled deeper into the castle, one step ahead of the questing guards. His only way out led through the boudoir of Baroness Veronique. He entered to find the lady preparing for bed. Now, it should be said that at this point, that Ravius was noted for his handsome looks, while the Baroness was noted for her plainness. Both of these facts were immediately recognized by each of the pair. "Dost thou come to plunder my virtue?" asked the lady, all a-tremble. "Nay, fair lady," Ravius said, thinking quickly. "Plunder be a harsh term to apply upon such a delicate flower as your virtue." "I see thou hast made off with mine husband's precious coins." Ravius looked deeply into her eyes and saw the only path by which he would escape this night with his life. It would require a double sacrifice. "Though these coins are of rarest value, I have now found a treasure that is beyond all value," Ravius said smoothly. "Tell me, about beauteous one, why dost thou, husband, set 7 deadly traps around those tortured coins, but one simple lock upon the doors of his virtuous wife?" "Ignis protects those things that are dearest to him," Veronique replied with ire. "I would give all the gold in my possession to spend but a moment basking in your presence." With that, Ravius set down the coins he'd worked so hard to steal. The Baroness swooned into his arms. When the captain of the guard asked to search her quarters, she hid Ravius most skillfully. She turned over the coins, claiming the thief had dropped them when he fled out the window. With that sacrifice made, Ravius steeled himself for the second. He robbed the Lady Veronique of her virtue that night. He robbed her of it several times, lasting well into the wee hours of the morning. Exhausted, yet sated, he stole away in the pre-dawn hours. And that's the thief of virtue. Wow, that got spicy. Yeah, it's like, it's 1, 2, just simmering, right? Long-term cook, and then somebody just goes, no, 10. It's not spicy in the sense of like the lusty Argonian mate that knows what it wants to be and that's on a 6 or a 7 just the whole time. That's what it does. It knows what it does. It knows it does it well, and it does do it well. Thief of virtue is like, why isn't the water boiling? Okay, come, just turn it up, will you? And just cranks it all the way up. And it's horrible. But that is thief of virtue. Thief of virtue. Go. Now, get back to a slightly more tame material. It's like, why isn't it boiling? Right, drop the nuke, we're making this flashball. Basically. It, I mean, it spends, what, like the last 2 paragraphs? It does spend basically the whole story setting it up. I will give it that. It sits there and sets up and sets up and sets up. Really, it's like 98% foreplay, which is a little weird. But if that's what it wants to do, that's what it wants to do. Preps the whole fire, makes everything perfect, and then flash boil. Speaking of boiling, egg. I don't have any, which is terrible. If you'd like to help me get eggs, there is the Patreon and the coffee. Which will at least help me get the funds for eggs. Getting the eggs is a whole different matter. Long COVID, I won't go into it tonight, but those of you who know. Let us see. What book do we want to read next? The Wolf Queen, Baronzaya, Valerian the Mystic. Those are all fairly dry books, though. The Brothers of Darkness. That's a fun one. Ah, here it is. So for those who have played Oblivion, you haven't found them yet, Bonini, but Raven have to go. Sleep is calling. Okay, I think that's what happened. That's what's happening to a lot of people right now. It's fairly yeah, definitely sleepy time. Bonini mentioned, oh, you aren't asleep. So this is of the Dark Brotherhood. This is the history of the Dark Brotherhood. What, Raven, did I already say night-night and sweet dreams? I hope I did. I hope you have a wonderful night. Oh, hell yeah, that's my favorite in Skyrim as a kid. Oh. I'm wondering how long until you meet them, Bonini. Luna, look, and go do some IRL stuff because it's day for me. Ah. Thank you for the lurk. For now. Stay safe. Rainy, I was an edgy little bitch. Be fair, the cloaks are pretty cool. Yeah. And the horse. Can't forget the horse. So, this is The Brothers of Darkness, written by Pelarna Asi. As their name suggests, the Dark Brotherhood has a history shrouded in obfuscation. Their ways are secret to those who are not themselves brothers of the Order. Brother here is a generic term. Some of the deadliest assassins are female, but they are often called brothers as well. How they continue to exist in the shadow, but be easily found by those desperate enough to pay for their services, is not the least of the mysteries surrounding them. The Dark Brotherhood sprang from a religious order, the Morag Tong, during the Second Era. The Morag Tong were worshippers of the Daedra Mephala, who encouraged them to commit ritual murders. In their early years, they were as disorganized as only obscure cultists could be, due to there being no one to lead the group, and as a group they dared not murder anyone of any importance. This changed with the rise of the Night Mother. All leaders of the Moragtong, and then afterwards the Dark Brotherhood, have been called the Night Mother. Whether the same woman, if it isn't even is a woman, has commanded the Dark Brotherhood since the Second Era is unknown. What is believed is that the original Night Mother developed an important doctrine of the Moragtong, the belief that, while Mephala does grow stronger with every murder committed in her name, certain murders were better than others. Murders that came from hate pleased Mephala more than murders committed because of greed. Murders of great men and women pleased Mephala more than murders of relative unknowns. We can approximate the time this belief was adopted with the first known murder committed by the Moragtong. In the year 324 of the Second Era, the potentate Versidue Shire was murdered in his palace in what is today the Elsewhere kingdom of Senshal. In a brash move, the Night Mother announced the identity of the murders by painting a Moragtong on the walls in the potentate's own blood. Previous to that, the Moragtong existed in relative peace, or more or less like a witch's coven, occasionally persecuted but usually ignored. In remarkable synchronicity at a time when Tamriel the Arena was a fractured land, the Moragtong was outlawed throughout the continent. Every sovereign gave the cult's elimination his highest priority. Nothing more was officially heard of them for 100 years. Did the kid do something? I wonder what I heard. For 100 years. It is more difficult to date the era when the Moragtong re-emerged as the Dark Brotherhood, especially as other guilds of assassins have sporadically appeared throughout the history of Tamriel. The first mention of the Dark Brotherhood that I have found is from the journals of the Blood Queen Arlimahera of Hegatha. She spoke of slaying her enemies by her own hand, or, if necessary, with the help of the mother. Quote, with the help of the Night Mother and her Dark Brotherhood, the secret arsenal my family has deployed since my grandfather's time. Unquote. Arlimahera wrote that in Second Era 412, no one can surmise the Dark Brotherhood had been in existence since at least 360, if her grandfather had truly made use of them. The important distinction between the Dark Brotherhood and the Moragtong was that the Brotherhood was a business as much as it was a cult. Rulers and wealthy merchants used the order as an assassin's guild. The Brotherhood gained the obvious rewards of a profitable enterprise, as well as the secondary benefit that rulers could no longer actively persecute them. They were needed. They were purveyors of an essential commodity. Even an extremely virtuous leader would be unwise to mistreat the Dark Brotherhood. Not long after Alimahera's journal entry came, perhaps the most famous series of executions in the history of the Dark Brotherhood. The Colovian Emperor Potentate Saverian Chorak, and every one of his heirs was murdered on one bloody night in Sun's Dawn in 430. Within a fortnight, the Colovian dynasty crumbled, to the delight of its enemies. For over 400 years, until the advent of the warrior Emperor Tiberius Septim, chaos reigned over Tamriel. Though no comparably impressive executions had been recorded, the Brotherhood must have grown fat with gold during that interregnum. The Dark Brotherhood has no shortage of business opportunities. Unaccounting, I have been informed, is the Brotherhood's favorite euphemism for an execution. While they are officially considered an unlawful organization in every corner of the Empire, like the Thieves' Guild, they are almost as universally tolerated. And that is the Brothers of Darkness. Bit gruesome, but it's good to know the history of that particular guild of assassins. Bunny, Vivian, to be fair, there is Milk Creature. Milk Creature? Banania, just like assassinating people, pretty sweet. They can be. Queen's pretty iconic. Raven, good night, fairest of beings and practices the children of light. I won't tell to whom I dedicate that. I don't know, I think most of us are fairly nocturnal. I think the children of the night, or children of the light, are the ones that are actually sleeping to my voice and not sitting here, listening to, or sharing memes about flirting. And well, I'm a succubus, so, like, I'm entirely exempt from even candidacy for a child of light. Also, light gives me migraines, which is its own thing. Remember, the sun is trying to kill you. The Earth's atmosphere is the only thing keeping you alive. Banini, flirting? What? No, we were just protecting our skin in the dark. I get burned easily. Isn't your character's name a cross between a vampire and a bunny? Bunnicula. Yes, Bunnicula. Right. Moth, I forgot my meds made me super allergic to the sun. I wore a sexy goth outfit to the last protest. Oh, rip. I spent a week swollen and flaking. Ow. I have a friend that's permanently like that. No actual sunburn, just allergy. Oi. But yeah, said friend also jokes that he is a vampire. But you need. I'm just gonna drop my game name like that. I can't argue, though. You got me. I mean, you did bring it up. The getting burned easily part, not the actual name. Vivian, you never joke? That's fair, that's fair. Aurora, okay, you demand to be between keyboard and me. Got it. Staying on brand? On the plus side, I made a transphobic MAGA crypto bro panic. Interesting. Not quite sure how you managed that, but good on you. Aurora is perfect and has no flaws and can do nothing wrong. Well, of course she's Katt. So that's what's happening. I am fairly sure that Nightbot for YouTube is just not working right now. Huh. Oh well. I suppose I'm probably going to wrap things up. It's already almost 1 here on the West Coast. Which means it's fairly late for all of you who are ahead of me. Just most of the world. Most of the world. Now let's see here. Who can we raid? Who can we raid? That's been super fun. Thanks for the stream. Of course, it's my pleasure. Molly drove almost onto the sidewalk and leaned out his passenger window to flip me off. A trans right sign was wearing a hot goth chick TM outfit, so he thought I was a trans woman. I see. Wow. Poor guy. I replied to his middle finger by going, "Oh yeah, that's so sexy, you're hot." Just started moaning at him. Oh. Wow. Literally just made him panic by moaning at him. That is wow. He was stuck behind a red light to be moaning and he started crying. Stop, fuck knows I'm what? Oh. But well, I see. I can't handle somebody moaning at him. That's that's weak. That's weak. Oh. I'm taking down the fascists one orgasm at a time. Yeah. 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 And also makes people happy. Not quite sure who I want to raid out to. Do you want to raid out to somebody tonight? Wonder how many we have on the Twitch side of things. Just 3 people. I might just call it a stream then. YouTube, why are you suddenly giving me... Okay, so for the YouTube side of things, if you'd like to support me, I have social media in the description, of course, but also I have a Patreon and a Ko-fi. All members get credit on videos. All members get access to audio files, where you can get both the voice and music version or the voice-only version. Other than that, like, sub, do the YouTube-y clicky things that make the algorithm not totally ignore me. And of course, I've got recordings of various books, some of which we read tonight, on the channel as standalone videos. And there's also a playlist of all of those. There's also a playlist of all of the streams. So plenty of options. Unfortunately, tonight I have to wrap up. It's been about 3 hours. This is about the limit of my energy at the moment because of long COVID. Don't get long COVID. I'm one of the lucky ones. I know people that are absolutely bedridden and can't do anything with their life, which sucks. I know a physics girl on YouTube just barely managed to stand up of her own, under her own power for the first time in years, just a month or 2 ago. So yeah, don't get COVID. Get vaccinated. Wear masks. Be safe. Wash your hands. Washing hands is good. Moth, I hope he thinks of this imaginary trans girl at night. I hope he questions everything. An old woman saw this happen and came up to me after. The old woman said, "Thank you for coming." Oh, I adore the double entendre there. Not that she meant it as a double entendre, but in terms of what we just talked about, being a secondary meaning to all of that. Or maybe she was an awesome, awesome grandma and just knew the double entendre. And, it was just like, yeah, I don't care. Let's do this. Anyway, um, ta-ta for now. Be good to each other. And I will see you, as soon as I can, every 3 or 4 days. Night night. Sweet dreams. Or in some cases, if you'd like, naughty dreams. Take care.